The night was thick with shadows, and the road stretched out before me like an endless black ribbon. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white as I navigated through the desolate countryside. The only company I had was the rhythmic hum of the engine and the eerie whisper of the wind. I was on my way back from a friend's house, the journey that had initially seemed routine, now transformed into a nightmare. The moon hung in the sky, casting an occasional pale glow over the landscape, revealing glimpses of twisted trees and dilapidated buildings that lined the desolate road. As I drove, a feeling of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The isolation was suffocating, and the darkness seemed to seep into the car, casting long, sinister shadows that danced on the periphery of my vision. The radio, my only source of distraction, crackled with static. Uneven bursts of distorted music only added to the unsettling atmosphere. I tried to shake off the growing sense of dread, attributing it to my tired mind playing tricks on me. But as the miles passed, the feeling intensified. The road ahead seemed to warp and twist, playing tricks on my tired eyes. An icy shiver ran down my spine, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Suddenly, the headlights flickered, and the car sputtered. Panic surged through me as the engine coughed and died, leaving me stranded in the oppressive darkness. I fumbled for my phone, heart pounding, and cursed when I saw the no service message. I was alone, surrounded by an impenetrable black void. My breath hitched as I peered out into the night, searching for any signs of life. The oppressive silence was shattered by the distant howl of a lone wolf, sending a chill down my spine. I felt an overwhelming urge to stay in the safety of the car, but the isolation was suffocating, and desperation pushed me out into the cold night. I began to walk, my footsteps echoing in the stillness. The road seemed to stretch endlessly in both directions, offering no solace. The air was thick with an otherworldly silence, broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves or the distant hoot of an owl. As I walked, I noticed the landscape shifting. The trees became gnarled and twisted, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The dilapidated buildings took on an eerie glow, their windows glowing with an unnatural light. I quickened my pace, a rising sense of dread urging me to escape this nightmarish landscape. A flicker of movement caught my eye, and I turned to see shadowy figures flitting at the edge of my vision. Panic clawed at my throat as I stumbled backward, my eyes struggling to focus on the elusive shapes. Whispers filled the air, indistinct murmurs that seemed to seep into my very soul. In the distance, I saw the glimmer of headlights, and relief surged through me. I ran towards the approaching vehicle, waving my arms frantically. The headlights cast long shadows, distorting the features of the driver as they slowed to a stop. Rolling down the window, the driver's face remained hidden in the shadows. A low, guttural voice spoke, sending shivers down my spine. "Need a ride?" It rasped, the words hanging in the air like a sinister promise. Something inside me screamed to run, to escape this ominous encounter, but desperation won over reason. I nodded, grateful for the lifeline this mysterious driver offered. As I stepped into the car, the air grew thick with an acrid smell, and a sinking feeling settled in my stomach. The driver's features remained obscured, hidden beneath a tattered hat and a coat that seemed to meld with the shadows. The car sped forward, the landscape outside warping and contorting in the unnatural glow of the headlights. I tried to make sense of my surroundings, but everything seemed to twist and blur. The car plunged into a tunnel of darkness, the air growing colder with each passing moment. I glanced at the driver, my heart pounding, and gasped as their face flickered in and out of focus, a grotesque mask of shadows and emptiness. Fear clenched at my chest as I realized I was no longer in control. The road ahead seemed to stretch into infinity, a nightmarish maze with no escape. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of haunting voices that echoed in the recesses of my mind. I struggled to break free, to open the door and flee from this unholy ride, but the car hurtled forward, defying the laws of time and space. The shadows closed in, suffocating me, and the air grew thick with an oppressive malevolence. The driver's voice echoed in my ears, a chilling incantation that sent shivers down my spine. "Welcome to the endless night," it intoned, the words resonating with a malevolent power. As the car hurtled through the darkness, I felt myself unraveling, my sanity slipping away like sand through my fingers. The world outside became a chaotic swirl of shadows and ethereal shapes, and the whispers grew into a deafening roar that drowned out all reason. I closed my eyes, hoping to escape the nightmarish reality, but the darkness clung to me like a suffocating shroud. In that endless void, I became one with the shadows, a lost soul trapped in the eternal dance of the night. And as the car sped into the abyss, the echoes of my screams mingled with the haunting whispers, swallowed by the unending darkness that stretched beyond the boundaries of time and reason.